I was talking about when my complaint was in the state of Florida Constitution. It talks about costs. No person charged with a crime can be compelled to pay any costs before a judgment has become final.
Okay.
But if you get arrested here, like if you're a protester today and you get arrested, the minute you go to jail, they take $20 from you.
Why?
It's called a booking fee. But it says in the Constitution you can't.
So that's unconstitutional.
Yeah. And when they hired a sheriff, which is a warden of the jail, he raised his right hand to swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Florida and the United States.
Yeah.
And all the Board of County Commissioners who approve the rules that they operate at a jail.
Wow.
So, but anyway, it's right in front of them. But the main problem is there's no one that sticks up for us. That's how these rules get passed.
All right.
When they pass a rule.
Section 19.
Yeah, Article 1.
Article 1, Section 19 of the Florida Constitution was violated. Right on.
Then the freedom of speech is the Article 1 of the United States Constitution.
Yep.
Then an inmate goes to jail.
Amendment 1, not Article 1.
Well, yeah, but he don't get the newspaper.
Yep.
And they don't let the press come talk to you. Like a jail in Hernando County where I'm from, then they would only let you mail a postcard out. So I filed a lawsuit and they changed that already.
Okay.
They'd only let you mail a 3x5, which the court system only accepts 8 by 11 and a half, which meant you couldn't even file a motion in court to reduce your bond or anything.
Wow, because
they only accept legal size. So when you mail that little postcard, that's something this little to them, they'd say we don't accept that and mail it back to you.
Wow.
So they found a way to come after you and to keep you in jail where you can't talk to the press.
Yep.
Can't read the press and see what they're writing about you.
Wow.
And they're taking your money so you can't use a payphone to call out, buy a phone card.
Is there any brutality in the jail that you were in?
Yeah, they fired one guard and he hit somebody. And then they had a blind guy in there. And when his parents, he had tried to kill himself, so he was suicidal anyway. Then he cut his wrists in jail because his dad sent him money twice, $100, and they took all of it.
Wow.
And said that he owed medical bills. But in the United States Constitution, the United States of America, it said that people disabled weren't supposed to pay any money in jail because they're disabled.
Okay.
Because a working person is entitled to pay for cross the room and board once he's found guilty.
Okay.
Remember, the guy wasn't even found guilty yet. He was in jail waiting because he got in a little scuffle with his mom.
Okay.
His name was Charlie Dehart. Anyway,
allegedly got in a little scuffle with his mom.
Yeah, alleged, because he never went to trial. He died. But anyway, he was in jail and he got so frustrated. The guard beat him up. He filed a grievance. When he went to the grievance in jail, they said, "Oh, you were supposed to have us a list of what witnesses to call today in jail." He said, "I can't read the rules. I'm blind." Well, no one was there to help the handicapped.
Wow.
And they wouldn't give him his cane. I had to go fight for him. And he got his cane. So I consider that like a.
What's this person's name? Do you know?
Charlie Dehart was his name.
Charlie Dehart. And what's the name of the CEO that beat him up?
I don't know. It was on the news and stuff, but anyway, they dropped it.
Okay. How's the last name spelled?
Dehart. D-E-H-A-R-T.
D-E-H-A-R-T. All right.
He was a blind guy. But anyway, they took his cane from him, wouldn't let him have it. And I had to go to the sheriff's department and keep fighting. And they were saying, "What do you care about?" I said, "Man, I went to jail for a traffic ticket. Was in there, and the guy cried all day. Guys in there with murder didn't even cry all day."
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was physically being mentally distressed out because
Wow.
no one was there to, they took his money, mailed him $100, they took it, his dad mailed him again from Georgia money, and they took it. And then he cut his wrists in jail. Then they were cutting him off his medication after he was in there a year. Said he was on it too long, and it was antidepressants. And he said he feels like killing himself, so he put him in a lockdown cell. An hour later, he killed himself.
Wow. Wow, that's unacceptable.
So I mean, just so much little things at the jail, and then they released all the tapes aimed at the cell, except the one camera aimed at his cell. They were saying, "Oh, well, the guard couldn't have seen where he was," and we were unaware that he was suicidal. Well, he cut his wrist in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, how could someone shoot himself? That's why he's blind. And then.
That's terrible. I have a good friend who also killed himself, not in jail. He was in my apartment, so I got to walk in on his dead body. And so suicide is something I take very seriously.
Well, I'm just saying, one of my complaints about it was all these rules against people, that involves the Constitution that was set in place to keep us from, people infringing on us and doing stuff that was wrong.
Yeah.
But whenever they pass one of these rules, if you don't get the newspaper, there's actually a public records law for the state of Florida under Sunshine Law that says you must inform people. Like, say you're going to build a Walmart here tomorrow.
Right.
You have to put a sign up over there for like a year ahead of time or 6 months telling people that this is, public records law says, the notices in public record law says they have to.
Who's the leader here? Who's the leader that's doing the protest?
This particular action, I don't know. There are some protests that don't have leaders and some protests that do. I do not personally know if this particular protest does or does not have a leader, but I am not it.
Okay.
There's a church group that's the underground that's going to be here in a little while.